They burned his palace. They shattered his name. They left his empire in ruins. But they forgot one thing. Ashes don't mean the story's over. Because from the darkest ruin, legends rise. This is the story of Prince Kaelion, the boy who watched his world collapse and chose to build something greater. Not with revenge. Not with war. But with something the world had long forgotten. Hope. Lighthaven, once called the Jewel of the East. Its towers touched the clouds. Its people never knew hunger. Its scholars taught kings. But peace invites envy. And envy breeds destruction. At age 12, Kaelion watched his kingdom burn. An alliance of greedy warlords stormed the gates. His father was betrayed. His mother vanished in the fire. And the boy prince. He was dragged from the throne room, beaten, and exiled. They didn't kill him. They wanted him to live. To see everything he loved turn to dust. The wastelands. Kaelion wandered the wastelands. Once proud provinces of his empire. Now broken lands ruled by raiders and famine. He begged for bread. He slept under shattered statues of his ancestors. People spat on his name. The prince who failed. But in those ruins, he listened. To a farmer who remembered the old songs. To a blacksmith who still sharpened blades, just in case. To a little girl who asked, "Will the sun ever rise again?" That question became his fire. Years passed. Kaelion, now 17, returned to the edge of Lighthaven. Or what remained of it. The grand citadel. Reduced to rubble. The river of lights. Now a trench of mud. But among the ashes, one stone still stood. He placed his hand on it. Closed his eyes. And whispered. "This is where we begin. No armies. No banners. Just a prince with a pickaxe. And a dream." He started clearing the ruins alone. And people laughed. Until one old woman handed him a loaf of bread. Then a boy brought a shovel. Then 3 more joined. Hope had found its spark. It didn't look like an empire. Not yet. But every day, more came. Former soldiers. Fallen nobles. Outcasts, scholars, orphans. Not because Kaelion promised gold. But because he promised purpose. He didn't rebuild a palace. He built a school. He didn't raise a throne. He raised a hospital. And the whispers began. The prince is back. He's not like the old kings. He listens. But not everyone was pleased. Far across the sea, the warlords watched. They'd burned the old kingdom once. And now, they would do it again. One night, a rider arrived. Kaelion's scouts had vanished. Trade routes were blocked. And a message was carved into a burnt shield. Leave the past buried, or be buried with it. His advisors wanted to arm the people. To dig trenches. To prepare for war. But Kaelion stood before them and said, "If we raise weapons first, we become them." Instead, he did the unthinkable. He invited the enemy to a meeting. They met at the scorched bridge. The same place Kaelion's father was betrayed. There, Kaelion faced the warlord who ordered his exile. Not with a sword. But with a scroll. A proposal. Burning me gave you ashes. Helping me will give you legacy. The warlord laughed. Until Kaelion handed him a map. A vision of trade roads, new ports, shared knowledge. "We don't have to rule each other," Kaelion said. "We can rebuild the world together." The silence hung thick. Then the warlord dropped his weapon. Years passed. The empire didn't rise through war. It rose through unity. Kaelion built bridges where there had been walls. He restored forgotten cities. He made peace between tribes who'd fought for centuries. And when the last stone of the new Lighthaven was set, it wasn't gold. It was etched with the names of every hand that helped. Kaelion refused the title of emperor. He called himself the Keeper of Ashes. A reminder that greatness doesn't come from crowns. It comes from the courage to begin again. But even light must face the storm. A great drought struck the empire. Crops failed. Fires spread. Old rivals circled like vultures. And the people, they looked to Kaelion once more. Not for miracles, but for belief. And he stood before them and said, "We have been burned before. But we are not ashes. We are sparks." They dug wells, shared food, sheltered strangers. And the empire held. Because Kaelion had given them something no conqueror ever could. A reason to stand, together. Now, they say his story is over. That the Keeper of Ashes has vanished. Disappeared beyond the mountains. But in border towns, they whisper. A hooded man helped stop a flood. A stranger rebuilt a burnt library. A writer left a scroll behind. The ashes speak. Keep building. Because legends don't die. They rise again. Wherever people believe that from ruin, we can rise stronger. If this story lit a spark in you, share it. Because somewhere out there, another prince is standing in the ruins. Waiting for the world to believe again.